Hello, are you here to debate?
Hello?
Yep, you here to debate?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Is this the YouTube channel? I'm sorry.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wanted to debate.
All right,
I
can
was
I
just wondering if
wait
you
really quickly,
thought
really quickly? Hold on. Can I
white privilege was.
hold on,
Oh, I'm
hold on,
sorry.
hold on. Can I just get your name,
Okay, I'm
age, and
sorry.
pronouns, please?
What was that? I'm sorry.
I need your name, age, and pronouns.
It's Jesse, and I guess you would say he, him. I'll respect it enough to do that. It's your channel.
Okay, Jesse, and your age?
I'm 40.
Okay, great. Now, what was your question?
Do you believe white privilege is real?
Yes.
Uh, and you were just saying how you're okay with abortion, right?
Yes.
Would you agree that the majority of the country, though, cannot have an abortion? Could not possibly have an abortion?
Sure, because of the overturning of Roe v. Wade, a lot of people cannot access abortion. Yeah.
Well, I just mean because of genitalia. They just physically cannot. At least half the country, because of genitalia, cannot have an abortion, right?
I probably put it at more than half, but yeah, there's a lot of people
Yeah,
that can't
yeah.
have
So,
abortions, sure.
so the minority actually can have it, right? Or could,
Sure.
not can, could.
Sure. I don't know what this.
So,
What's the point you're
so
making?
would a good way to fight white privilege be to remove from white women the ability to have abortion? Since we know that abortion lowers crime rates, wouldn't that also, though, help fight white privilege?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
So is there anything? That's all. That's a good enough answer for me on that. Then, uh, I wanted to ask you about how you were saying trans women are women, and I'll respect that enough. But is there anything that you can think of that, or I guess what I'm asking is, do women need men?
Sure. In like what sense? Like,
Any sense you could possibly think of,
yeah, I would just say humans
in
are social
any
creatures, so we
circumstance,
all. I
do
would. I
do do women?
yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say humans are social creatures, so we just all need each other.
No, no, but I'm saying I could agree with you on that, but I'm wondering, do women need men?
Does the gender woman need the gender? Does the gender woman need the gender man? No. Like if you're
No,
asking just like in
what?
general, but like as a people, yes, but like in general, probably not.
So what is it then about a man that a woman needs?
Well, I just said we all need each other. So like humans are social creatures. We thrive on social interactions.
Well, no, but that wasn't my question. My question was, do women need men?
Yeah, if you're saying like can't if it were the case that it was just a society of all women, then no, probably not. They wouldn't need men for really anything. What would they need them
They
for?
wouldn't need. So is there a job then? Like, for instance, is there any job out there that only a man can do?
No.
So you think a woman could do anything that a man can do?
Can you yeah, unless you can demonstrate a job that quite literally no woman has ever done or could ever do.
I, I'm not asking. I'm just thinking. You can't think of anything, any instance of a job that a man can do. Because I mean, there's lots of fields that are dominated by men, and I'm not saying that women haven't come into those things.
Nope.
But like, if you look up like, man, well, no, I guess that's good. So you think that women do need men? You agree with that, but you can't give me a reason why
Well,
women need
I
men.
wait. It's like you're ignoring half my answer. I said the only reason that they would need
Oh,
men is because all humans need each other. And I said if they didn't, like if we had a society that was purely woman,
yeah.
so they're getting their social interaction from other women, then no, they wouldn't
Uh-huh.
need men for anything.
Well, but so then would you say that procreation is one thing that a man can do. The way a man procreates is one thing, then that's one job.
Well, men don't
Then
procreate, males procreate.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Men do not procreate, males procreate.
Oh,
You
okay,
don't need
yeah,
to be a
males.
man to
Okay,
procreate.
so that's one thing. That's one thing then, right?
Well, there are women
Okay, well, I guess
there are women who are males, so no, I wouldn't need men.
wait, say that again. Can you say that again?
There are women who are male, so I wouldn't need men.
Okay, I guess. Wait, say that again. There are women that are males.
It doesn't seem like I need to say it again. It seems like you got it the first two times.
Okay. All right. So, and then on to, I guess the Bible condones slavery.
Yep.
Do you mean the Old Testament or the New Testament?
Is the Old Testament a part of the Bible?
Well, I mean, do you know what the Bible is?
Yes.
What is the Bible?
A collection of stories written by different people throughout time to describe God and describe events that happened in a Christian historical worldview. Or sometimes Catholic and a Jew. And if you're looking at just the first,
too.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the slavery portion is in the Old Testament, right? Do you know what testament
What's that matter?
actually means?
Yeah.
Well, it does. I mean, stories evolve, right? Like Lord of the Rings, as it progresses, gets better and better, right? But then in the end, good prevails, right?
If I wrote a sequel to Lord of the Rings, right? Like if I wrote a sequel.
Well, no. I'm just saying. In the beginning, it was bad, and then it got good, right?
What does that have to do? What? I don't think the
That's
Lord of the Rings.
Bible.
I don't think any.
I
of the
mean,
Lord of the Rings
that's
are
what I'm
good,
saying.
but...
You're saying that slavery is in there, but so the whole Bible is bad because slavery's in there. And I'm saying that
I don't prostitute
the
that the Bible
beginning is
bad.
bad and then the end is good.
I don't prostitute the Bible as bad. I'm just saying it condones slavery.
Well, and on top of that, the Bible, the Bible actually is considered a library. It's actually a series of books and scrolls that were condensed into what I guess you could call a book, but in reality, it's a library.
It still condones slavery.
Would you see that? So Christians don't believe in the Old Testament, right? Do you know what Testament actually is? You know what that means?
Testament is just like a written or verbal proclamation of something that's happened. You're stating or writing a testament.
It's technically though a covenant. Do you know what a covenant is?
A testament is not a covenant.
Well, you look that up? You can look that up.
Are we just looking at the word testament? Like the word testament just means somebody saying. Okay. So
no,
then you're
I'm
not
saying
asking
the
me
Bible
what you're not asking me.
It's
Hold
called
on,
the
then you're
Old
not
Covenant
asking
and the
me.
New Covenant.
Hold on, you're not asking me then what does testament mean? You're asking me what does the Bible say testament means? This is a different question.
Oh, sure, I guess. Yeah, sure. So you know though that it's Old Covenant and New Covenant, right?
Sure. What's that got to do with anything?
Well, because Christians don't follow the Old Covenant. That's the old deal. A covenant is a deal to get into heaven, right? The old way of doing it and the new way of doing it. So Christians don't follow the Old Covenant. And my question is,
I would say
own
Christians.
slaves?
Two answers here. One, I would say if they're not following the Old Testament, they're not doing what Jesus said. Jesus specifically said,
Jesus didn't say.
Yes, he did. He said, "I did not come forth to abolish the old law. I came to fulfill it." So the old law still exists. Yes, he didn't abolish it. It means he didn't get rid of the old law. Those rules still apply.
Did Jesus work on the Sabbath?
Did Jesus work on the Sabbath? I don't know. But what did Jesus? The laws
Can you
wouldn't apply
Google
to
that?
Jesus.
Because the Old Covenant, they follow the Sabbath.
If Jesus is the Lord, the laws wouldn't apply to him. Like God kills people all the time. The rules that
Jesus said it was okay to work on the Sabbath. In the Bible, somebody comes to him and says, but Rabbi, it is the Sabbath. And he said, would you not save a sheep that is in a well drowning? Meaning, yes, you work on the Sabbath because he came to fulfill it. He also added to the commandments.
Great.
He said, love thy neighbor.
So again, let me just throw this out for you for a second. Jesus breaking the rules is fine, right? Per even Levitical laws, God can do whatever the fuck he wants. But if the
So you're
if,
saying Jesus broke
oh
the
my
rules?
Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, all the time.
When did he break the rules?
All the time. What do you mean? He lied to people like
Can
straight
you
up.
give me? Can you give me? So Jesus said. So Jesus led by example, right? And if Jesus broke the rules, then his example was to break the rules. So I would just ask, what's one example of a rule that Jesus broke?
Healing people on the Sabbath. He literally healed people on the Sabbath. And when asked
But
about
that's
it,
the old
what was it he
covenant.
said?
That's
What was
the
it he
old
said?
covenant.
What
Jesus
was it?
is the new covenant. You understand that?
Again, I did not come to abolish the law of Moses or the writings of the prophet. I came to accomplish their purpose. He's not taking
Yeah,
away the rules.
accomplish it.
What does abolish
Did
mean?
Jesus say?
What does abolish mean?
Did Jesus say
What does abolish mean?
it means to get rid of?
So did he get rid of them?
The old covenant, yes.
I did
You
not
understand that's the
come
old covenant.
to abolish the law of Moses. Maybe you and me are understanding these words differently. What does he mean when he says, I did not come to abolish the law of Moses?
Well, the Ten Commandments. He didn't come to get rid of the Ten Commandments.
The Ten Commandments aren't the only rules that God gave to Moses. The entirety of Leviticus is God
Yeah.
giving Moses rules. What do you mean?
No, the Ten Commandments. That's what he is referencing is the Ten Commandments.
Not.
Yes.
No, it's not. No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not. He's referencing
okay, what's he
all of
referencing
Levitical
in?
law.
What
He's
other
referencing
laws?
all of
What
Levitical
other
law.
laws is he referencing?
Everything else that's in Leviticus. Leviticus is God giving rules to Moses for how the Israelites should live. That's all of Leviticus.
But didn't you just say he didn't come to abolish Moses' laws? Look up what the law of Moses is. But anyways.
Correct, because Moses gave the laws to the people. It's the same. It's quite literally the exact same.
Okay,
did Moses come up with the Ten Commandments on his own, or was he giving the Israelites rules that God gave him?
Yeah, it was divine intervention. Of course.
Okay. When Moses gave the Levitical laws, did he come up with them, or was he giving the Israelites rules that God gave him?
Was love thy neighbor in Moses' laws?
Nope.
So Jesus added to them?
Sure, he didn't say he couldn't add to the laws. He said he didn't abolish the laws.
Yeah, he didn't either. He said, if you love me, follow my commandments. God never changed his commandments.
In his commandments?
No one ever
does the
claims
Bible
that.
condone slavery, yes or no?
Yes.
Great. So what are we still arguing about?
Well, no, you can't just say the Bible.
Well, yes, you can.
Because the Bible's several stories. No, you can't, because the Bible's several stories.
Here, then I'll ask in even simpler terms. Did God condone slavery? Did the Lord condone slavery?
Jesus did, yes.
So then what are we arguing about?
Oh no, I'm sorry. No. Jesus.
Freudian slip there?
I misheard you there. I'm sorry. No, Jesus did not condone slavery. Jesus did not own slaves.
So Jesus' law goes above the Father's law.
Well, him and the Father are one, right?
Oh, okay. So then I ask the question again: if they're one, did God condone slavery? Yeah. And if God did, then Jesus did, because they are one.
Well, would you agree that Jesus was the old covenant came after or came before the new covenant?
God is never changing. He says this specifically in the Bible, that he's never changing. So it doesn't matter what the old covenant said and what the new covenant said, because God, a key aspect of God is he's never changing. But now we're saying, oh no, wait, God is changing. God does change his mind. So he did change his mind, and he said slavery existed, and now slavery doesn't exist.
How do you get to heaven, though?
What?
How do you get to heaven?
What does that matter in anything of what we're talking about?
Well, because the old covenant said one way and the new covenant says another way. So if God is never changing, right?
Could
nothing ever changes.
Could it almost be that the
sense.
Bible is inconsistent and therefore probably should not be believed because it's an inconsistent document that has inconsistencies in it, such as God is never changing, but God completely changes his mind from Old to New Testament?
Can God create a boulder that he cannot move?
I don't believe in God, so I would say no, because it doesn't exist.
Well, right, but as the character that you know him to be, can he create a boulder that he cannot move?
If God is all powerful, then yeah, but that's the problem. Is it's a paradox. if
Yeah,
the
there's
whole point
logic,
of a
because it
parable,
has to follow
hold on,
logic
hold on.
still. It has to still
Yeah,
follow
hold
logic.
on. The whole point of a paradox is
Yeah.
if it is pointing out that
Yeah,
because this
yeah.
thing is paradoxical, God
So-
cannot exist.
So back to my question then. How do you get to heaven?
Well, Jesus said the only way to get to heaven is by feeding the hungry, giving water to the thirsty, giving
No,
Yes,
you don't have
yes,
to do
he
any
does.
of that.
Yes,
you
you
don't have to do any of
Yes,
that,
you do.
actually.
Yes, you do. You want to bet?
No, you don't.
You want to bet?
I do want to bet. Yeah,
Okay,
I do want to bet.
Do you know your own book?
Do you know the story of the crucifixion and the two men that were crucified next to
What's the
Christ?
story of the sheep and the goats?
Hold on. Do you know the story?
Well,
One
you
was a
asked me a
murderer.
question. You asked
One
me
was
a
a murderer.
question. You asked me a question, so I'm going to give you the answer. What is the story of the sheep and the goats?
Hold on. Can you give me my question back to me?
No. What is the story of the sheep and the goats?
Do you know what my question? Do you know what my question is?
I'll just read it for you. When the Son of Man comes in
Okay,
his
go ahead.
glory and all the angels with him, he will sit on his glorious
Mm-hmm.
throne. The Son of Man is Jesus. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another as shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world." So he's saying,
Mm-hmm.
the sheep, you're going to heaven. And he says
Mm-hmm.
specifically, "For I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in. I needed clothes and you
Mm-hmm.
clothed me. I was sick and you looked after me. I was in prison and you came to visit me." He's saying,
And
"You're
what was he
going to
trying to say
heaven."
there?
I'm going to
What was
answer.
he trying to-
I'm going to answer it for you. Give me a second, because it's
Okay,
in the
okay,
text.
okay.
It's not even subtext.
Okay.
It's text. The
Okay,
righteous
okay.
will answer him, "Lord, when did we we didn't do that? When did we do all of this?" The king will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." So he tells the sheep, "You're getting into heaven if you do these things." And you know how we know that that's the case?
No.
Because then the goats come in. And he says to the goats, "Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels." And when the goats say, "Why are you doing this to us?" He said, "For I was hungry and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger and you did not invite me in. I needed clothes and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, you did not look after me." And when they
So what's
said,
that mean?
"Well, Lord, when did we see you hungry?" He said, "Whatever you do to the least of you, you do to me."
Uh-huh.
So
Right.
quite literally, he is quite literally saying, you're going to be punished because you did not do charitable work, and they will be accepted because they did do charitable work. He doesn't say,
No.
he doesn't say, "You're coming to me because
that's
you
not what that means.
believe." That's not what he says. He says, "You followed my teaching. You gave food to the hungry. You gave water to the thirsty. You gave money to the poor. You looked after people who were sick and in prison. You let in strangers." Yes, it does. This is the exact text. You just don't believe your own fucking
reading
book,
it,
bro.
but you don't know
You
what
don't
it
believe
means.
your own
You don't know
fucking
what it
book,
means.
bro. You just
Well,
straight up
keep
don't
going.
believe
You
your own
don't know what it means. You don't know what it means. That's the thing. You can read it how you want, but you don't know what it
I
means.
read it to you word for word.
Well, then what does it mean, though? What does that story mean?
Exactly what it says.
What's it trying to teach?
That you have to
No,
help
what's
the
it trying
poor.
to teach?
That you have to help the poor. That what Jesus wants you to do is to feed the poor and give money to the poor and help people who are sick and invite in strangers.
A murderer that's never fed the poor, done any of that stuff, cannot get into heaven?
No.
So then you don't know the story of the crucifixion of Christ with the two men that died with him?
Or the Bible is fucking inconsistent because it's not real. And you're about to tell me a story
you're missing the
that
point
is
of that story.
inconsistent. No,
you
I'm
know
not.
what the point of that story is?
You tell
know
me.
What the point of that story is?
You tell me. What's the point of the story?
It's that they denied Christ. When Christ
Except they
came to
didn't.
them for help, they denied who he was.
Except they didn't.
But the poorest among them, the prostitute who gave up the last of her oils to wash her feet, I think her name was Rebecca, the poorest among them gave up the last of her anointing oil to wash his feet with, and she used her hair to do it. And he said, "You dog, how dare you use the last of this," or whatever. The point was that they denied him.
They didn't.
And if you look up the story of the two men that died next to Christ, one was a murderer and one was somebody who fed the hungry. And on it, the guy who fed the hungry said, "If you're so powerful, why don't you get us off of these crosses and get us out of here?" And the murderer said, "You fool, don't you know who this is? This is the King. This is Christ." And he said, "Lord, please forgive me when we get up there." And Jesus looked at him and said, "My brother, we will travel together to heaven." Because he did not deny Christ. Those people that you're referencing all denied Christ. You're reading that out of context.
Except
and you're trying to use it to your benefit.
Except it doesn't say in any context that they denied Christ. Anywhere.
You just said that he did. You said they didn't feed him, they didn't house him, they didn't clothe him, they didn't bathe him, they did none of those things. They denied who. Would you, if God came to your house right now and said, "Will you wash my feet?" and you were like, "Oh my gosh, this is God, 100%. I know who it is," and He said, "Wash my feet," would you wash His feet?
All you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not Christian.
Yeah,
so
you
I don't
said,
give a fuck.
Did you? Was that an agreement that you
I'm
would?
not Christian, so I don't care what your
No.
book
I'm
tells me
just
to
saying,
do.
God. Let's just say though. Let's just say hypothetically. But let's just say though, hypothetically, any God you want came down, okay, and said, "Wash my feet." Would you wash His feet, or would you deny Him?
Absolutely fucking not.
You wouldn't wash His feet, so you deny Him, just like those people.
Yeah.
Just like those people. Yeah. Yeah, so you wouldn't get into heaven because of that. I'm glad we could clear that up.
What's so funny to me, I don't give a fuck if I get into heaven. Getting into a heaven run by a Christian God would make me want to fucking
I didn't say
jump
Christian
off a
God.
building
I just said
again.
any God you want.
If it is
any God,
if it is any God who comes in and tells somebody to wash their feet, that is not a God I want to exist in for all of life. That is not a God I want to be near for the rest of my life. Are you kidding me? The fuck kind of shit is that? Fuck you. Wash your own goddamn feet.
You're not thankful? You're not thankful?
Fuck you, I'm not thankful. No.
Why aren't you thankful?
For what?
Well, you've got a pretty popular YouTube channel building up.
Not because of God.
You seem to be doing pretty well.
Not because of the Lord.
I mean, how do you know?
So the fuck am I thankful for? I'm going to look him in the face. I'm going to look him in the face. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. If he had a hand in this, I'm going to look him in the face and say, "You're a piece of shit because you gave kids cancer. Fuck you. You're a piece of shit because you allowed American slavery to go on for 200, 300, 400 years. Fuck you. You're a piece of shit because you allowed the Holocaust to happen. Fuck you. Oh, you gave me the good things? Fuck you. You also gave all the bad. Titanic sunk? That was because of you. Fuck you. Every time somebody dies and loses a loved one, that's because of you. Fuck you. That's what I'm going to say. If I'm sitting on high and this man goes, "Aren't you going to thank me?" Nah, fuck this shit. If I'm sitting on high and this man has the audacity to say, "Aren't you happy for all the things I gave you?" No, fuck you. Children are dying in mass in fucking Gaza. Fuck you. Absolutely not. You don't get to claim all the good and then absolve yourself of all the bad. Fuck you. What type of vain shit is that? If that is God, God can suck the fattest cock that I can produce from my body. He can get down on his knees and he can any type of fellatio to me. If he expects me to thank him when billions of people the world over have suffered unimaginable suffering for no fucking reason. God can eat.
Do you support the Ukraine war?
Do I support the Ukraine? Do I support Ukraine not being?
Do you support Ukraine?
Do I support Ukraine pushing back an invading country? Yeah. The fuck kind of question is that? Is it just another one? Is that another one of the attempts of the millions of gotchas you've tried this whole fucking live stream?
Well, you just went on this like.
Is Ukraine committing a genocide? Or is Ukraine trying to defend? Is Ukraine committing a genocide, or is Ukraine trying to push back Russia from invading its borders?
Well, hold on. You just. I'd like to respond. You virtue signal through all of that, and then in the end, you said, "I support war."
What the fuck? Your whole argument.
You said, "I support war."
Your whole argument has been a virtue signal.
There
are some wars. Okay, yes, there are some wars that I support. Yes. 100%. Yes.
Do you support sending U.S. aid to Ukraine?
Yes.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with anything. You're just trying. There is no hypocrisy. You can't even draw a symmetrical line here.
Couldn't you not support it and say, "No, I don't want to fund any of it"?
I know, because I've never made the claim that there aren't justifiable wars. I've never made the claim there aren't justifiable killing. My claim was undue suffering.
That God can't justify it. Your claim is God can't justify it.
Yes, because God is supposed to. Yes, let's get into this, because you might be the fucking vapidest Christian I've talked to.
Man can justify
Let's talk why you're the most vapid. Let's get into it. Let's talk why you're the most vapid Christian I've ever fucking talked to on this platform. God is supposedly an all
I
good,
wanted to
all
move on
knowing.
to MAGA
Is
as
God
a
an all
cult.
power? Is God an all powerful God? Yes or no, stupid? Is he all powerful? Is he? Answer the question.
Yeah.
Why are you? Yes. So why the
He's
fuck did we
almighty.
need?
He's all-knowing.
So why did we need a universe in which babies can get cancer? So you're telling me he has the power
I
to
don't know. I
create a
can't
universe?
explain
Do the Ukrainians have the power to create a
Hold on,
universe
hold on.
where they
You-
can
you-
hold on? No.
hold
I'm
on.
talking. I'm
Let's
talking now.
calm
So
down a little bit,
I'm
please.
talking now. So you either
Well, no,
stop
I
talking.
can't hear you that well. I can't hear you
I'm
that
talking.
well.
Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're
Okay,
gonna
go
do
ahead.
in this fucking instance. I'm speaking. Okay. I'm talking. So now I'm talking. So you're muted for the stream until you stop talking. Okay. Great.
Okay.
So
I just couldn't hear you. That's all. Go ahead.
Great.
Go ahead.
God can create a universe in which all parameters of the universe still exist, yet babies do not get cancer. So therefore, he is at fault for this untold suffering that is unjust and does not need to happen. Ukrainians cannot create a universe in which they can push back Russia without military force. So you are quite literally doing the worst conflation I have ever seen in my life. It is terrible conflation to say that because I'm not done, to say that, well, but you support war. So I don't understand how if you support war, because again, I'm going to say it again, maybe everybody can hear, the Ukrainians are not all powerful. God is all powerful. God is all seeing. God is all knowing, according to the Christian
Is
Bible.
Russia
your
all
book.
powerful?
No.
So then why do we have to help either side? Why can't we defund it all and bring all troops home and become
there are no
an
U.S. troops
isolationist?
there are no U.S. troops in Ukraine. We
Yeah,
don't
there
have
is.
boots. We do not have
Kidding
boots on
me?
there.
Dude, you could
There are no
volunteer.
U-
You as a
there are
U.S.
no
citizen
U.S.
could
troops.
volunteer to go over there right now.
That's
you can
not
volunteer
U.S.
to go over
troops.
there right now.
Volunteering in Ukraine is not U.S. troops. You absolute ignoramus. We do not have a.
Well, there's definitely special forces
you're
over
fucking
there. There's
stupid.
definitely
Holy
special
shit.
forces over
We're
there.
moving on now. You're a fucking idiot. We do not have boots on the ground in Ukraine. Stupid. Christian apologetics is so dumb. It's so dumb to go, you're just virtue signaling. What do you think all of what you have done? What do you think all of your arguments are? In Christianity, they're all virtue signals. Huh? What's up, everybody? Thanks for watching this video, and I want to give a special shout out to my YouTube members. Their names are on the side. Membership starts at $2.99 a month, and you get early access to videos, exclusive members-only videos, and access to the Red Mirror Media Discord server. Thank you again to my members, and thanks for watching.